But another surprising stat on that one before we skip to defense.
Yeah.
49ers, 10th in the NFL in rushing.
I know, right?
I mean, that's pretty surprising.
That's mostly Colin Kaepernick running for his life.
That's so true. Just scrambling. Well, as if they haven't taken enough hits so far this season.
Right.
It looks like Reggie Bush may be out for the rest of the season because did you see what happened?
Yeah.
Sprinted off the field,
Yep.
hit one of those slick surfaces. Why are they there?
Well, that's how McCown got hurt last week, too.
Yeah.
That's how he hurt his shoulder.
Feet slips out right
it's an
from
outrage
underneath
for the
him.
NFL to have that.
It
I mean,
is.
let's have a little player safety, coming front and center here. How
I think it
about
could be
fixing that?
ACL due to a slick surface off the sideline.
It's trouble everywhere. It really is.
Who's
Yeah.
weren't you shocked to see Green Bay get handled like they were
Oh,
last night?
I
Oh
was.
my God.
I mean, the pecking order's changing on a
Yeah.
weekly basis in
Well,
the
we
NFL.
talked about Denver for so long this year for the first few weeks, just saying they're winning in spite of Peyton Manning because he's old, he's not the same guy, and here they are. I mean, they're undefeated and they beat the Packers soundly.
Hey, Peyton Manning might be Trent Dilfer, right? To be an okay quarterback on a dominant defensive team that can go to the Super Bowl. Who
Seriously.
knows?
Okay, first of all,
Wouldn't that be
Peyton Manning
shocking?
will never be Trent Dilfer in any world, anytime. Did you hear what he had to say at the mic after the game, though?
That was great.
Yeah.
To the media?
He called us out.
Yeah,
he called them out.
sure did.
So,
Basically
all right,
said,
naysayers.
I really do not listen to what you guys have
Yeah,
to
you know
say.
what? I had a problem with that, to be honest with you. Lie or something. Don't.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, the
was a
media
little-
is such an ally of yours, Peyton Manning. I mean, truly, you can't find anybody that doesn't like you. Now,
was this
don't
close to
try
coming
to
here.
make the media seem insignificant in
He was
your
this
world.
close to coming here. He almost was a Cardinal.
Oh yeah, remember?
Well, maybe this one.
then we'd be a huge fan
They
of
were
Peyton
a
Manning.
finalist. Remember,
Yes.
Wisconsin was in the run for that.
Absolutely. Hey, let's go to NFL total defense, then we can show some Facebook fan photos, right?
Sure,
we
yeah.
got those. Well, let's talk about the NFL total defense because the Seahawks are 8th, the Rams are 10th, Cardinals 13th, and the Niners are 31st. But take a look at these numbers. There's not a lot of difference between 8th and 13th, you know?
Right, and you know
Yeah.
what? There's so many ways to judge a defense.
Right.
Total yards is one of them. You know, we like
Points.
the takeover number, and then points, the
Yeah.
ultimate
Yeah.
one that matters.
Yeah.
So this is in total yards only, and a lot of times teams will move up and down the field on the defense, but will they shut them down in the red zone?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Can they get takeaways? Can defense? That's one thing about the Cardinals. They can score. That's
Yeah.
a unit that is built to score and put
Yeah.
points on the board, which is very helpful.
One thing that's not surprising, after all the turnover they had in the offseason, 49ers second to last in this. I mean, they
But, you know,
They got-
13th, listen, as you mentioned earlier, Tom, James Betcher is new. We have a new defensive coordinator. Todd Bowles is gone. He's got the New York Jets now he's dealing with. But we got James Betcher. And I remember when the players found out it was James Betcher, it wasn't this, oh my gosh, we got James Betcher. It was like, oh, we got Betcher. You know, it wasn't like this over ecstatic defense. So to be 13th right now in his first season, first time he's ever called a defense live in live game action, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not a bad place to be.
While
It's
we're
good.
on the defensive topic, we mentioned the lack of pressure on McCown in the first half. Where we kind of mentioned where was Calais Campbell. Bruce Arians just said Campbell should have had 4 sacks. He loses his technique with poor use of hands.
It's not good. He was a Pro Bowl player last year.
No.
He's a Pro Bowl
And
player.
it just goes to show Arians will call anybody
Oh, doesn't
out,
matter
right?
who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I love
Should
it.
have had 4 sacks. The guy who did have the sack was Freeney.
Yeah.
Another guy off the street.
That's right. No, they should, and that's the problem. Hey, I want to go to these Facebook fan photos because you pulled some up,
Yep.
and we got fans. We asked fans to send us some Facebook pics. Let's take a look at
Yeah,
some.
let's
of them.
take a look at this little cutie. This one's sent in from Alexandria to Les. Look at that.
Awesome.
Decked out.
Cardinals gear. Let's go.
Bird gang. Feeling
Absolutely.
it. You think this was before or after the game?
I should have given you a picture of my pumpkin I carved.
You
The Cardinals
should
pumpkin. We should
man.
have put that in
That-
here. Yeah.
That was impressive. I had
telling
no
you.
idea you were creative
I'm
that
telling
way.
All your fingers intact, too.
Still, yeah, still got 'em. My wife tried to jinx me late. She goes, "You haven't cut your fingers or anything." I goes, "Don't jinx me right now."
Did you get on the first pumpkin?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I
Really?
couldn't draw a pumpkin,
No,
let alone
I-
carve one.
Seriously, I am so bad at that.
I mean, I
Here-
can spell it. That's about
I
it.
can spell it.
Here's another miniature bird from Annalisa Manzo.
Okay,
Love
that's a
it.
cutie.
Yeah,
Yep,
she's
love
cute.
it. You got to get them
Really
young. You
cute.
got to start them young.
Oh, we got the Colin Kaepernick flat bill here by
Gotta love that.
Coley Marie Scranton.
I wonder how many people
Cardinals.
dressed up as Aryans for Halloween. You know there were some out there. For real?
I'm just telling you. That's
That's a
my
special
that's my,
lighting,
That
too?
is my cardinal. Yeah, a candle inside.
Oh.
Yeah, special lighting. Look, I did a Sparky. I
We
did
have
a-
to show that next
I
Monday.
gotta show you.
We got to show it next
Here,
Monday.
can you see this, Brett?
Yeah.
Can you see my Cardinals pumpkin? I'll
Yeah,
hold it
zoom
really
in on
still
that.
for you.
He's very proud of it.
I'm really proud of that because that's my first effort.
I mean, seriously, I'm going to draw a pumpkin.
My wife dropped 4 candles in there to just. I'm gonna draw a pumpkin. How are we doing? Can we see it? Okay, good. So
That was your first try?
See, so I'm just saying, I'm not a Facebook guy,
That's
but
pretty impressive.
That's my Cardinals pumpkin I carved the other night.
Here's the thing: if Tom would have done that, it would have been plastered all over social media so fast.
Of course it would.
I'm just saying, I think that's why the Cardinals won, because that pumpkin was glowing on my porch on Halloween.
Keep it out there. Like people have the flag
I think
out
it's
there.
still out there.
You're going to have a decrepit, rotting pumpkin in the middle of November.
Okay,
You'll
back
still
to
be
your
proud of
Facebook
All the
picture.
buzzers and flies will be circling in the neighborhood.
All right, this one from Koneha Liz. Little Cardinals selfie there.
Excellent.
Rocking
Cool.
the Patrick
Like, it looks like
Peterson.
even some special filtering.
Yeah.
Great job.
Seriously.
Oh, how about this one from
That's
Deanna
awesome.
Rivas?
That's awesome.
We've got a
You got to start them
full-
young. You got to get
yeah.
them going, right?
Full running suit there, Cardinals. How do I get my hands on one of those?
Seriously.
Sweatsuit?
That's pretty nice. That's
I
pretty
like
sweet.
that.
There you go.
Hilda Corrales sends this one, and look at the mini Fitzgerald.
I'll guarantee he's drawing a pumpkin just like you were just doing.
Probably better than Tom's.
Much better.
Dining with Mickey Mouse.
You gotta love the
I don't
table
know
and
if you
chairs.
guys knew this. Mickey's also a very huge Cardinal fan.
Nice.
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
love
a
that.
fun fact. This one from Jamie Warren.
Nice.
Rise
Way to go.
Up.
Rise Up, Red Sea.
Red Sea.
Recognize those, yeah.
Flat bill's really popular.
It's huge.
Yeah, especially in the West Coast.
Yep.
Josie Guns. We have a poodle.
There we go.
That-
Now, if you put any kind of outfit on my dogs, they just freeze. They wouldn't move. They would just
doesn't
be
look
frozen.
like she's doing much
That's true
moving
too.
there.
Yeah. You get into her hair and say, "Please
Rolling
take this
over.
off of me."
Craig, don't you think the Cardinals probably sell more merchandising for animals right now than they did for humans 20 years
Oh my
ago?
gosh, it's amazing. Everybody.
A lot
Yeah.
of animals are decked out in Cardinal gear these days.
To be honest, I mean, I love the kid pics. I love the selfies. The pets, they get me every time. I mean, it's so
Pets,
cute.
yeah, there you go.
How about
Nice.
this one from Tyra Scott?
Shoulder pads.
And it looks like he's going for a little Heisman pose, does he not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sans
Yeah,
the helmet.
Yeah, he's
Look
got
at
the
that.
pads on.
With the Halloween decorations behind. That's awesome. Helmets on the ground. Just
A lot of
scored.
Petersons out there.
By the way, that's a penalty. You can't take your helmet
right.
off when you're
That's
celebrating.
true.
You're off.
Yeah. Might actually put him back to return punts.
Very nice. There you
Vanessa
go. Get the cheerleaders.
Michaela
She's walking the red
Salas.
carpet.
Yeah.
Look at that. She's a sassy Cardinal fan. You can tell.
Cheerleader outfit on. You got the
She's
boots.
Adorable.
That's very nice. Vanessa, awesome.
The skirt. It's pretty sweet. And pom-poms. Don't forget
Those are
pom-poms.
awesome.
So yeah, we thank you guys for sending those in. You can
Send
send those
them
in
to
whenever
us.
you want. Hashtag ABC15 cards.
Yeah.
Before the game, in the middle of the game, after the game. We love to.
We'll get them up. We'll get them up. 602-685-3017 is our phone number. Hashtag ABC15 cards. You can take part with us. You don't have to just sit there and argue with us by yourself. You can call and argue with us if you
Yeah.
want. Great idea. Yeah, let's get the stuff. Hey, we're talking about the bye week. We talked a little earlier about that. Cardinals go in. They're going to work the next couple of days. Coach is going to give them the weekend off, 4-day weekend. What do you do on your weekend if you're an NFL player? Do you just relax?
Some of them do. I think the guys with family and kids, obviously, they're here. They're just chilling. I'd say 60% of the team is on a plane. I mean, they do hightail it out of here on the bye week.
it's a time to
They're
get
going
out.
somewhere. I mean, they're going home. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
these guys are so young. Go see mom, get some home cooking.
Yeah.
You know, fuel up and get back or get recharged. So I think it's the when you talk to NFL players when they want a bye week, they always want it in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time to have a bye week.
Do you think the bye week routine changes if it's a 6-2 team as opposed to a 2-6 team?
I think it depends on
You might want to
injuries.
come back a little bit earlier.
I think the 2-16 is probably out of it. You know,
Right.
I think it's the 5-3 or the 4-4 team that blown a couple games leading up to the
That's
bye
true.
week where they
It's
pay
over.
the price.
That's
but
true.
yeah, you know, and this is in the collective bargaining agreement.
Right,
where they
it
have
is.
To have X
Yeah,
amount
there's
of time
rules,
off.
yeah.
So, you know, they need it. I think even for the coaching staff, it's such a grind. I think those assistant coaches need to get away
Yeah.
for even a few hours a day, reconnect with their family, and get recharged and refocused. Because man, it's on now, right? We got 8 games, and the season's going to feel different the rest of the way because it's so much more important. Every one of these games.
I got a feeling the linemen are probably chilling. I got a feeling their bodies are bruised,
Yeah.
they're sore. It's like, where's the nearest couch? Let me out the remote. Let me
Yeah.
play some video games and get some ice packs on me.
Right.
You know, it's sort of like I just want to relax and get healthy.
One specifically, Alex Okafor, just take it easy, man. I don't need you to be doing anything active. Just chill. We need you to come back healthy.
It's interesting. Lyle Senline, of course, the center. They brought him. Remember in training camp, he was a latecomer. Remember, he was sitting out there waiting for a deal. They couldn't come to terms with the Cardinals last spring. They cut him loose. He was sitting there, and they had A.Q. Shipley in camp. They were kind of doing that battle at the center.
Right.
And then they brought
Yes.
they brought Lyle in. And Lyle's a local guy. Went to Chaparral High School, played at Texas, came out here, undrafted guy, had a great career with the Cardinals. And now he's back as a starter. I'm a little concerned about that MRI on the shoulder.
Yeah.
That concerns me a little bit.
Yeah.
We're sending him for an MRI.
Yeah.
So that's the word from him today that he's getting an MRI.
That's the latest from
And
the
now
Bruce
you know with the
Arians
bye week,
conference.
we may not know what's going on with him.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that luckily, I think the Cardinals have a little bit more depth offensively on their offensive line than they have in the past. But still, Send line's been there for so long.
Yes.
And there's no sense of messing with what's working right now. You want to keep all those guys healthy.
Right. Little concerned about the penalties with Jared Valdir. I know Bobby Massey gave up a couple of sacks yesterday, at least the one sack. Concerns me that they're still trying to gel as an offensive line.
Well, they have no wiggle room. If they come out and play against Seattle on the road like they did against Cleveland, they'll be buried.
Yeah.
You're not coming back.
Right.
You know, so they've got to be locked in, and I gotta assume they're going to put that behind them.
Yeah.
You know, there's just certain factors that went into playing yesterday. How do you really get up for the Cleveland Browns?
Right.
You know, so at least they can flip the switch, and
Yeah.
most teams
Right.
can't do that.
No, that's
and
true.
they found a way to flip the switch at halftime.
You know what's funny is they actually right now have more touchdowns at this point than they had all season
For real?
last year. Yeah, and Bruce Arians was just asked about that, and he goes, "It says last year sucked." That's what that stat says.
Wow.
plain and
Interesting.
simple.
Here's the interesting part, too. Not only do you have the bye week, but you come off the bye week with a Sunday night nationally televised game in Seattle. And you're talking about the middle of November. Is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be cold on a
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
night? You know, what's it going to be like in this game? Because we saw in Pittsburgh when they went to the cold, wet weather,
Right.
they didn't play well.
No, they didn't. But at least they have a running game that they can pack with them and go to Seattle, which is
Correct.
huge.
It is huge.
They have to run the ball up in Seattle. And then, like, when you look at that schedule, then it's Cincinnati.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
Undefeated. Then they have an undefeated team,
Yeah.
and really the class of the AFC along with New England
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
following week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but this November 15th is the game that I really, really am looking forward to. I mean, I guess maybe the second time they play Seattle here will be super fun,
Right.
but to go to Seattle, CenturyLink Field, take on the 12th man, what a huge win that would be if they can pull it
huge.
off. It would be a season
Yeah.
maker.
It's a measuring stick for them.
It really is.
And,
Then you-
and for them to be taken seriously nationally by everybody,
Yeah.
this is one they have to have.
Then you say you come back and take on the Bengals the next week at home, which is great. Then you have to go to San Francisco, then to the Rams. So you've got 2 road games. San Francisco, who knows what you get with them there, but then you have to go to St. Louis.
At least they're becoming a little more consistent lately.
Right.
Consistently bad.
Then
So.
you come home and take on the Vikings, and then you're at Philadelphia.
It's amazing. This is the toughest schedule I've ever
December
seen
20th
the Cardinals
in
play.
Philly.
Except for the first half, though.
Oh, but
This
I'm
was
talking
the-
about
Right.
from now going
Yeah,
forward.
right.
From
Then-
now, there is not one
No.
break on that schedule.
Then Green Bay at home, and then Seattle at home. And I mean, it's a tough second half of the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, they're 6-2 right now. They have 8 games left. If they can go 4-4 and they finish 10-6,
Right.
that's pretty good considering the
it
schedule.
is.
It might be good enough to win the division.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Which ones worry you the most?
The ones that worry you the most, obviously, at Seattle coming
Yeah.
out of the break, and then the Bengals at home. The Bengals are very solid this year.
Yeah.
And the one that I said this earlier, the sleeper team, the St. Louis Rams. Go to St. Louis and play them there in the Edward Jones Dome. That is a tough place to play.
And then here's the one that worries me too, because you think you get through some of those division games, win a couple of them, you're going to Philly.
Yeah.
They're going to be desperate at that
December
point. They're going to
20th.
have their groove on, and there's no way the weather's going to be good out there. So
Yeah.
that's another one that's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Since we're going to have another countdown before our next game,
Yeah.
we shouldn't do game predictions just yet. But let's predict the rest of the season, the rest of the schedule. How do they finish?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, Green Bay at home, Seattle at home, that's not too bad, but I'm telling you what, not too bad. I think, like you said, Tom, you look at Seattle, I'd love to say that's a win, but I just can't right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss-up. It's a coin toss to me. Even though Seattle's not great this year, they're 4-4. Cincinnati at home scares me to death. I think that's 2 that could go either way.
Yeah.
At San Francisco, I think is a win. I just don't
Yeah.
think the Niners are tough. At St. Louis, I think is a loss right now. I just don't know if we can beat them there. Minnesota home on a Thursday night game, I think you beat the Vikings. Okay. At Philly, December 20th, too cold, too nasty, probably snow coming down. Eagle fans are awful. I just don't know if we can get a win there.
Yeah.
Green Bay at home scares me to death with Aaron Rodgers.
Perfect conditions
Yeah.
for Rodgers.
Yep. Yeah, I just don't know if that's a win or not. And then Seattle at home, I think you can beat the Seahawks at home.
Yeah, those last 4 games could be possible playoff matchups.
Yeah.
Literally, the
I
last
think
4 games.
those last 4 games, 2-2,
Yeah.
would be a great finish to me.
Yeah.
Here's how I look at it. I place so much importance on this next game. If they win, they're going to skew positive the rest of the way for the second half, and I figured they'd go 5-3 at the worst. If they lose, I think they could go 3-5 for the final 8 games on the worst case scenario. So this game against Seattle sets the tone for the entire second half of the season.
I completely agree. I'm going 4-4 for the second half. I agree almost everything that Craig said, except I do see them getting a win in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't think Fisher's going to be able to.
Well, and especially when you
outsmart
realize the
Bruce
history
twice.
with Arians and how much he can't stand those guys.
Right.
And almost
He's
like
not going to lose to him twice.
how
around
he
there.
circled Cleveland too. I mean, he's just got a beef with everyone.
Knock on wood, everybody stays
Either
healthy,
way,
right?
yes.
I mean, it was the Rams.
what it comes down to.
Remember, it was the Rams last year that knocked that Carson went out in that Rams game at home, and then Drew Stanton went out against the Rams in St. Louis.
Exactly.
So it's like, knock on wood. Again, you said it earlier, they were 9-1. So, hey, that's going to do it for Cards Countdown here from Four Peaks Brewing Company. Thanks for joining us. ABC15.com, ABC15 Mobile. Stay with ABC15, of course, for the latest on the Arizona Cardinals here in the bye week. Again, Tom Zenner, Jason Snavely, Craig Fouey, thanks for joining us, folks. We appreciate it.